put that in the machine. Yeah, close it. Close it. Now push play. You push play right now, you son of... Oh, hey! Hey, everybody. Didn't see you over there. Welcome back to another Papa Tikyo's Friday, 8 a.m. Tokyo time YouTube reactions. Where me, Papa Tikyo, your hot dad who's lived in Japan a long time, who also does YouTube videos, is reacting to other people who made YouTube videos in Japan. And today we've got a video by Asian Boss, the best interview channel ever, and it's about guys who are like, well... Japan's not the right country to do startup companies in. I don't know. Half the time these guys don't even speak Japanese. They've lived in Japan for less than a year. They didn't bother to learn anything about the culture. And those are the people that are usually complaining. So I'm going to be curious if that's the same people that are complaining this time. So without further ado, let's check it out. I've got my Japanese notebook over here, so I'm going to be studying while we're watching this. And yeah, if you want to catch these live while I'm making them, then go over to follow my Twitch channel. It's in the link. The link is down below in the video description. And also, if you ever wanted to learn Japanese or you want some help moving to Japan to start your life here, we've got a whole Patreon and a Discord for that. So make sure to check that out at the end of the video and come on over and join the community.
I would personally,
come on, ride that train. All right, okay, let's get into it. 5 fingers deep. Let's
describe
go.
Japan as an anti-startup society.
Try and fill out an application for a bank account here in Japan. You're filling out an actual piece of paper, and if you even screw up like one line on that piece of paper, they're going to ask you to redo the whole thing.
What's the biggest difference between hiring local Japanese talent and hiring foreigners?
Hey guys, it's Kay from Asian Boss. Did you know that Japan has
Kay's
one of
getting
the
older.
lowest rates of entrepreneurship in the world? Starting a business is tough anywhere, but doing it in Japan as a foreigner with limited language skills and a totally different set of cultural rules, that's a whole new level of challenge.
God, dude, Kay, when did you get old, man? This guy used to like have host hair, and I know he's older than me, but like, dude, fuck. You are, I guess those scandals with Asian Boss really hit him hard. Didn't they do a GoFundMe or something a while ago to keep their company afloat, and then they fired everybody or something? Does anyone else remember that? But anyway, yeah, like you said, foreigners come here without knowing Japan or the language, and they have a hard time starting a business. No fucking shit. Are you kidding me? All right, let's keep going.
We're talking to a group
Scam
of
people's
foreign
money, yeah.
entrepreneurs who've actually made it work here in Japan. Let's see what they have to say.
Where are you from and how long have you been living in Japan?
So I'm from Paris, France, and I've been living in Japan for exactly 1 year now.
I've been here for about 2 years.
1 year.
Started this company 1 year ago.
So barely in.
Now I'm here figuring things out.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the U.S. Recently, I moved from the L.A. area, and I'm actually pretty new to Japan.
Everyone's new.
Started staying here permanently in maybe June last year, so yeah, maybe like 7 or 8 months.
What kind of business do you run here, and how did it all start?
Okay, yeah, so our business is Banruption. What we do is kind of similar to Patreon, but Web3 focused, and we have some, extra marketing automation features. And yeah, the reason we're in Japan is there's a very vibrant music fan culture here. It's probably the most vibrant in the world if you measured that by per capita. And the thing is, even the most famous music artists, they kind of struggle with monetizing overseas fans in particular. So they have a lot of fans overseas, but they're not. They struggle to organize them into official fan clubs and get them to buy official merchandise and things like that. We're helping close that gap, and that's the biggest reason we're here.
That's really cool. I'd say why not go a step further, and I bet there's companies out there, but I wonder if I mean I could probably Google it or ChatGPT it, but I wonder if there's specific companies that are to help Japanese bands tour in foreign countries, because you probably do you need a visa to do that? In order to I mean, I know Americans do that all the time in Europe and shit. They don't go there with visas. They just go there on a tourist visa, and they just fucking they do a Euro tour, especially if they're smaller entertainers, So it's like I wonder if there's any companies that help Japanese bands go abroad and set up tours. That'd be a good idea. Feel free to steal that idea from me, guys. Go for it.
Oh man! So the business I started about 2018. Initially started as a digital marketing agency, and we were doing some consulting work. And on the side, we were doing a lot of things with gaming companies. And
Why do I mean, like, I know that I wear bandanas, right? But why do guys like this wear hats? Are you bald? Like, what's going? When I just feel like it's very like Tim Poolish, you know? They have you got the cool leather jacket. But you got the skater guy hat. I don't know. Do any of you guys wear hats? Like I'm not going bald. I guess I got a big forehead, but I like the way my bandana feels. But it's like you're a grown man and you're wearing a baseball cap. At least I look stupid, you know. So it allows me to wear the bandana. But you look nice. But you're wearing this like whenever I see a grown man with a baseball cap, I think of that scene in Sopranos where like Tony goes up to that guy and they're in a fancy restaurant. And he's like, take off the hat, you know. Just take it off. And the guy's like, get out of here. And Tony's like, and then the guy like takes off his hat. And it's like, I grow out my hair because I don't want to gel it, you know. But, and I don't like how hats feel, so I wear bandanas instead. I got hats, I just don't wear them. I wear my hats during winter, like my Christmas hat, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
our own games. And then what we discovered is there's a huge problem.
Oh, wait, what?
Digital marketing agency, and we were doing some consulting work. And on the side, we were doing a lot of things with gaming companies and making our own games. And then what we discovered is there's a huge problem with game distribution and getting games out to, all the different channels and places that you can get out there. And so we went and pivoted and shifted our company to that in about the past year and a half. And so that's what we've been doing with our platform called Wordle.
I run Reiwa Pharmaceuticals. We're a small startup company here in
Pharmaceuticals.
Shibuya. We're about 5 years old, and we've been developing the first anti-flush products for Japanese people, specifically for people who turn red when they drink alcohol. And we're actually the first company in Japan and in Greater Asia. If you can
look at this guy's drip, man. He's got the fucking nice on-purpose frizzy hair. He's got the fucking nice suit, the big fat Windsor tie fucking knot, and starting up a pharmaceutical company. This guy's aiming for the stars here. Holy shit, yeah. Assholes genuinely wear hats.
I can believe it. There's no companies in any Asian markets making products for people with Asian
It's cool.
glow.
He's making a unique thing.
I run a prop tech company. Basically, what we do is we envision Japan as a nomadic stop. For a nomad, you probably need a place to stay, a place to work, or even just kind of find a community. So in our platform, we basically enable all of that, make it easy, given all the hurdles of essentially getting access to affordable quality home. And I think Japan really needs this, given that a lot of the rural areas are facing a lot of decline in population, but rich in experience. So we really want to invite foreigners to come out and actually find your own magical moment wherever it is, and we want to make it happen by expanding outside of Tokyo to everywhere else.
Wait, so what is his company? What is it?
For a nomad, you probably need
markets.
Prop tech company.
Okay.
Basically, what we do is we envision Japan as a nomadic stop.
I hate it when people can't just explain in technical terms. They have to say their vision for the company and it's an image. No, just tell me in autistic, basic engineering terms, what the fuck are you doing? The vision is that imagine if Japan was attacked by Godzilla, but Godzilla was actually made out of M&Ms, but those M&Ms had swastikas on them. What? Now imagine if those swastikas were actually Chinese for peace. I don't know, fucking stupid. It's like, just you want to make racist M&Ms in the shape of Godzilla. Gotcha. Just god damn it, fucking, I don't got time. Keep going.
For a nomad, you probably need a place to stay,
okay, you need a place to stay,
work,
a place to
or
work,
even just kind of find a community.
Okay, so he wants to make a
platform. We basically enable all of that.
Wait, a platform? Wait, are you talking about like those places in like Costa Rica or Thailand or Bali where you go there and it's like in the middle of nowhere and it's like a bunch of digital nomads hanging out?
Make it easy, given all the hurdles of essentially getting access to affordable quality home. And I think Japan really needs this, given that a lot of the rural areas are facing a lot of
Yeah, that's a good
declining
idea.
population,
Yeah.
but rich in experience. So we really want to invite foreigners to come out and actually find your own magical moment wherever it is, and we want to make it happen by expanding outside of Tokyo to everywhere else.
I have two businesses. One is an engineering shop where we make mobile apps and
That
AI
guy
models,
looks like,
and the other
Matt
one is a
Stone.
program that turns employees into founders. So the
What?
first one is very simple. I was a senior data scientist, and I've done a lot of work for insurance companies in the US and Canada. And I mainly worked on MVPs, so I decided to make a shop for it and help all kinds of startups and large businesses build concise mobile apps and web applications that have AI components to it. As for the second business, well, after I wanted to leave my company...
That guy just said a bunch of gobbledygook. Did you catch any of that? You're speaking in bells and whistles. It was clicks. Ethiopian clicks. What did it say it again?
By expanding outside of Tokyo to everywhere else.
I feel
I have
retarded
two
watching
businesses.
this.
One is an engineering shop where we make mobile apps and
Okay,
AI models.
engineering
and the
shop.
other one is a program that turns employees into founders. So the first one is very simple. I was a senior data scientist, and I've
Is
done
he recording all these guys at like some like job summit or something? Why are these guys pitching this as if it's like they're talking to fucking like Trump or something, you know, like Shark Tank shit?
a lot of work for insurance companies in the US and Canada. And I'm
How have you done a lot of work for companies? You look like you're 20. Like, what are you talking about?
mainly worked on MVPs, so I decided to make a shop for it and help all kinds of startups and large businesses build concise mobile apps and web applications that have AI components to it.
Okay, so you make software for companies. You make software for companies. That's what it is? Okay, good.
As for
Gotcha.
the second business, well, after I wanted to leave my company, I applied to 500 places and I didn't get anything. So I said, instead of wasting my time with more applications, why don't I just build a company, which I did, Start Analytics, and leverage that to get a job. And instead of getting a job,
Why do I feel like this guy's giving off like kind of trust fund vibes? It's always easier to start a company when daddy's funding it, you know? Why do I feel like this guy's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want? I hope I'm wrong, you know? I hope that I'm just like bad at judging people or something, but it's like I feel like people like this, it's like, yeah, my dad's paying for everything, so I can do this shit.
I got clients. And so now I teach other people how to do the exact same thing because nobody's getting jobs in North America right now. I think the entire
Nobody's
world
getting
is having
OBS.
the exact same thing because nobody's getting a job. I got clients. And so
Instead of getting a job, I got clients. Okay. He's wearing a sports blazer of a white tee. I don't trust him. He's a dreamer. Yeah.
now I teach other people how to do the exact same thing because nobody's getting jobs in North America right now.
So he's showing people how to basically become your own boss. Okay, I guess that's not bad, but I wouldn't trust a guy like this. I don't know. I just don't trust him.
I think the entire world is having struggles with finding jobs right now. The economy is not well, so we need to kind of think outside the box.
And do you speak Japanese yourself?
I've studied for about 3 months.
Fucking piece of shit. I studied for... Why are you guys coming here with all these big plans and you don't even fucking speak the language? What is this? Fucking Bali, Thailand? Come on, dude. Motherfucker. Okay.
I have an entry-level understanding and communication ability, but I need to keep going.
And how much did that impact your ability to build your business?
To be fair, working with other Japanese people, for me, they need to be able to speak English because I'm not at that level. However, if you know entry-level Japanese, it kind of shows that you're putting in an effort and it builds this level of rapport. And so that helps build connections, and then you guys can continue the rest of the conversation in English.
If you're watching this thinking,
Basically, what he's saying is like learn how to say konnichiwa and then hope that they speak English or that they really desperately want to speak English. We studied for years and now we want just to trauma dump AI onto us. Hard pass, bro. Yeah, I don't know. God, Kay, you got old, man. Like like he's not even wearing a suit. He's wearing like a shitty, ratty fucking like hoodie. And I don't know, why do rich people do this? They take the rope out of their hoodie. Like, why? Like, why are you doing that? And like, God, bring back the suit. He used to wear a suit sometimes. It was super nice and classy, and he looked like a host. Now he just looks like an old guy who's like, well, like, it's like that picture of Ken when like he's all sad because he dumped all his money into a crypto scheme and then his wife took the kids and he's like, Ryu, what's the matter, Ken? Are you all right? Ryu, she took the kids. It's Hondo goodbye, Ken. Hondo Ken. Ah. It looks like he eats dryer sheets. I'm just saying, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, this is your company. Why are you looking like a divorced dad or something, dude? It's just like, hey, come on. You can. This is for a business video, and you look so tired and old and fatty. You know, she took the kids. Yeah.
Whoa. There's actually a lot of opportunity.
And I'm just shitting on him because I'm so used to the quality being like at least decent or him looking like good. It just feels like come on, bro, what's happening here?
Start a business in Japan too, then learning Japanese is one of the smartest investments you can make. And the best...
You shouldn't be able to do business in Japan if you don't speak fucking Japanese. Come on. I'm sitting here doing Japanese flashcards while I'm watching this, and those assholes are like, well, I have more busy things. I have more important pressing matters at stake here. I need to go and tell everyone I'm helping with AI or something. Look over there. Yeah.
Way to start with our sponsor, Preply. Preply gives you...
Blah, 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 blah. I'm not getting paid by Preply.
One thing you wish you had known before starting a business in Japan.
There's a lot of intermediaries here. Whether it's tax accountants, lawyers, or anything to do one thing, it costs a lot of money as a startup. So that's why it's very hard as a startup to really take off in a more budget-conscious way, especially for a foreigner who doesn't understand the accounting practices here, the regulations, the tax filings, those things. Like it's a very hard process.
Japan is often seen as a tough place to do business, whether that be language, culture, bureaucracy.
Yeah, but again, just because it's easier somewhere else doesn't mean that it's harder here. It means that you gotta learn the system better. Like, everything is intimidating when you don't understand it, right? But if you learn how the system works, it's gonna be easier for you. But yeah, like when you're comparing it to a country where they do it differently and like it's easier, then of course. But it's one of those things where it's like you gotta just suck it up, you know. You gotta take your licks, you know. You gotta get punched in the stomach. You just gotta suck it up, bro. Like, complaining is not going to help you fix it, you know. Like, that's why it's so funny seeing these guys come here and like 1 year, 2 years is not going to let you learn about the culture, especially if you didn't even bother learning Japanese. And so you're like, oh, it's so hard. Why don't they speak English? Why isn't things like it in my country? I'm like, you didn't put in any time to learn. Shit, exactly. Tourette's guy anime version. Shit. You can tell that guy's an avid water drinker. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the France guy.
So, what made you want?
I like him though. Look, he's got a hair on the jacket. That means I can. You can't see it maybe, but yeah, I've got hair on my clothes all the time just from me shedding. I like him now.
Here anyway.
So if I did the business answer, it would be because, for example, there is less AI companies in Japan, so there is a lot of opportunities. But I feel for most foreign founders here, the real reasons is just they want to live in Japan. And they are going to build the startup in spite of all the difficulties, just because it's like Japan is such a cool place to live in. So that would be the real answer for many other people I know as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, it comes down to people just want to live in Japan, you know? They just want to live in Japan. That's all it is. It's like, oh, I would really like to live in Japan. I don't want to be an English teacher. That's it, you know? I want to live in Japan. Well, Demi, you can. You just purposely try not to. You're like, I have businesses and I like making money. You could totally move to Japan, but it's way outside your comfort zone, so you like just visiting instead. The turtleneck wants me to strangle. The turtleneck it's calling to me. It's asking me to grip my fingers around it and just squeeze. Squeeze hard. Squeeze for the prize coming out, you know? Dad, will you vouch for me? Sure, son, I'll vouch for you. Well, I'm planning, seriously. I don't know, man. I mean, like, dude, look, I hope that all of you guys who like Japan, who bother to learn about the culture and want to learn the language, like, I really hope you move here. But, like, I have a buddy, and he's been waiting for years to move to Japan. And, you know, he's very fat. He's way fatter than me. he's in bad like physical shape, but he has the skills, he has a degree, he has a company that would probably let him start up a branch of that company in Japan, but he's waiting for his mom to die. His mom's had cancer for years. He's waiting for her to die, so then he inherits her house, and then he can sell it and then come to Japan. And I'm like, dude, you're fat. You're going to have a heart attack before you ever sell that house. You know, like, come on, man. Like, just fuck. I think he's afraid that the hospice nurses are going to change the will to be like, give them the house. But it's like, I don't know, man. You only get one life. And it's like Smash Mouth said, the years start coming and they don't start coming. You know, like, you gotta hit the iron while the iron's still hot. You can't just wait for that perfect moment to come over here, you know. I came over here with $2,000 in my checking account and a backpack, you know, and I made it work. So you don't got an excuse. Nobody's got an excuse to fucking just wait forever to come here, you know? I asked my buddy looking for buildings in Fukuoka, Kita, Kyushu. Cool. Yeah, look, man, learn from Natty. Okay, he literally did it so hard. He went home. All this happened in his mind. Yeah, Natty. For all of you guys who don't know, one of my subscribers who's in the Discord, he lied about coming to Japan because he wanted to come to Japan so bad, and then we found out he didn't even come to Japan. So yeah, it is just like, dude, just go. You go. So I have an income. Well, I mean, Demi, you own like businesses. You probably have a decent amount in savings. You probably have good assets, and like, you know, you have connections. Like, for all you guys who don't know, I'm reading the chat right now in my Twitch stream, and Demi is one of my viewers who have met in person, and he's a smart European guy who's been to Japan many times. So he he already has connections there. Yeah, he's been here 9 times. So like, he knows what he's getting into, at least a little bit more than just somebody who just moved here to start up a company, right? But yeah, Demi, like, you know, I'm just saying, like, everybody always says, like, it's going to be 3 years, it's going to be 3 years. I have a buddy who works for NASA. He's been saying for 12 years he's going to move to Japan. He's never moving here, you know? So it's just, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's the same reason why I got my motorcycle, you know? Like, I got my motorcycle because a week before I got my motorcycle, like, some guy fell down the stairs in Shibuya and he died. He died from falling down the fucking stairs. And I'm like, if I'm going to fucking die from possibly falling down the stairs, I'm going to buy a motorcycle. Like, fuck this, dude, you know? Like, you only got one life. You might as well, like, you know, you're going to die no matter what. So you might as well do what you want to do. And for all of you guys who are waiting for the perfect moment to come to Japan, there's no perfect moment. Just fucking, like, a lot of people are like, well, what about my stuff? Get rid of your stuff, man. I had a whole apartment full of shit, just got rid of it, you know? Put it all in Goodwill and just left. So, you know, I'm just saying that it's like, you could die by getting hit by a bus or something. You have no idea, right? So it's like, would you rather have been happy that you spent a year in Japan before you died, or you died before because you were just waiting to come over here, you know? And for me, it's like, I'm poor, dude. I'm poverty level, you know, like income. But I love living in Japan. I'd rather be poor here than middle class or having money in America any day. Because I love being here. Like, it's just so fun. I get to live in the middle of the red light district. I have like a big friend and, like, you know, work base here for like all these different connections. And the food is great. The people are nice. The language is fucking awesome. And it's like, but I don't mind being poor here, is what I'm saying. So it's like a lot of people, they're afraid of downgrading their life in order to at least move somewhere. And for me, I'm like, if you start, like, you know, I noticed, like, I was watching this Kick live streamer the other day, and he got fired from he got let go. He didn't get fired, but him and his whole team got let go from his job that he's been working for 30 years. And he's like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm a 45-year-old guy. You know, like, and he's like, well, since I'm a Twitch streamer, I can't claim unemployment without, like, you know, stopping. If I was him, I would just put all my shit on pause, and then just not stream or whatever for a couple of months, and just collect that sweet unemployment. I mean, he paid into it for 30 years. He might as well, but. He's like, I can't collect unemployment. No one's going to hire a 45-year-old dude. And meanwhile, he's talking while all this nice shit is in the background. He's got all these expensive, like, camera gear and motorcycle helmets and motorcycle gear. And it's like, oh, I get it. You're really sad because you have to downgrade your lifestyle. You're used to buying expensive shit and living in a nice apartment, and now you can't do that. But if you had been living in like a shit cheapo apartment like me and not spending your money on all of this stuff, then you would have a big fat savings account full of money to float you while you're looking for a new job, and you feel no pressure. You don't feel shitty because you can float from job interview to job interview, and if it's not what you want, you can keep going. You've got plenty of options. But that guy, he's like, oh man, my rent's expensive, and I'm like, dude, just sell your shit, you know, like move into a cheaper apartment. Like, so I'm just saying, like, people are afraid to move to Japan because they're waiting for the perfect thing. They're waiting for the job that pays really well, or they're like, oh, the apartments are too small, or you know, like, or I can't bring my dog to Japan. But it's like, look, if it's really important for you to come to Japan, you'll find a way to do it. You know, you'll make an effort. But a lot of people are just like, well, you know, I'll do it eventually. And I'm like, no, you're never coming here. You're going to come. I have a viewer who signed up for tours through my Patreon. He always talks about moving here. He's been here probably like, I don't know, 15 times. He's never going to move here. I love him. He's a great guy. And he's been nothing but supportive of me. But, like, I know he's never going to move over here. Because, one, he's never going to learn the language. And, two, it's a lot of paperwork. It's like you actually have to put in the effort to move over here, and you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to give away basically everything that's in your home country. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. So they just take slow baby steps until and they say they're going to do it, but they never do it, you know? And I'm talking about you, Demi. Actually, I don't know if it's you, Demi. It might be you, but I don't know for sure. But I've known plenty of YouTube subscribers who have been like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to move. I'm like, you're never moving here. It just makes me angry that these guys actually made the steps to move here, but they skipped that very essential first season, that first session of being in Japan, where you're a slave to a company and you're surrounded by Japanese people and you're really immersing yourself and really getting to know Japan. These guys just skip the line and they're like, I'm going to do it the Gaijin way. Oh, wait, I don't have enough money to pay for all this extra shit. Fuck, you know? I'm going to complain to Asian boss about it. I'm triggered. I am a triggered man. I'm full of triggers. Yeah, it's true what you say, Dad. I have to make decisions. Sell it all, never look back. Very, very true. Someone could get bad cancer so instantly. Yeah, especially if you guys got vaccinated with that fucking coronavirus shit. You know, the coronavax, you guys are going to get super cancer now. And Bill Gates is making the sun blacking out, the sun in the UK. You know, you're probably going to get stabbed by some fucking refugee if you're in the UK or like in the Europe or whatever. Like, you got to get out while you can get out, you know? Fuck. Yeah, just sell it all. Is that the guy who worked for a company for 30 years, Dad? Unfortunately, I worked 20 years at my company, so if I leave, it would only be serious severance. Yeah, Demi, if you're on the if you're in the Discord, I shared the guy's stream account on the Patreon Discord side of it. I don't know if you're a patron member, but anyway, just remind me later and I'll copy paste it into the general chat. He's a really nice guy, but he doesn't, I think he speaks English, but I was talking to him in Japanese. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
It's also definitely true for me. Like, Tokyo is such a cool place to live in, so that's one of the biggest reasons.
How important is it to have a native Japanese co-founder or business partner when you start a business in Japan?
Oh,
So
very important.
I don't have one, but I have a Japanese girlfriend, and she can help me with all the translations.
You
So
bastard.
I would say you need somebody who speaks Japanese in your life to help you with your day-to-day.
Some of my co-founders are Japanese. That helps a lot. And yeah,
Yeah, guys, never start a company here unless you've got a Papa Tetsu. If you don't have a Papa Tetsu, don't try to start a Japanese company because you need a bro. You need a bro that's got your back 100%, that can deal with shit. And, yeah, and also you're going to need to hire Japanese employees, too, because you're in Japan. So, yeah, definitely get that Japanese business partner for sure.
I think right now, Japan might be one of the best places in the world to do a startup. So a lot of, like, the modern tech startup scenes have kind of grown up around the world, including, like, Europe, Singapore, US. And Japan is kind of ready right now to go ahead and catch up from that regards. And so, yeah, I think it's a combination of like the sentiment around tech startups and the fact that we're music tech and the music scene here is actually like amazing.
Music scene's
In your
amazing
view,
here,
how
yeah, dude.
open is Japanese society in general to entrepreneurship?
They're definitely open to it in the sense of wanting to have entrepreneurship grow within the society. The government, as well as a lot of private entities, are trying to channel resources into creating that culture. That said, I feel like startup culture in general is very early stage in Japan. So it's like if you use terms that are very common in startup culture worldwide, the average Japanese person, or even most Japanese people, have never heard of this word, you know. So I don't know. Example would be like LTV, like lifetime value of a customer on a tech platform. That one might be a little more specific, but yeah, okay. I'll use another one: venture capitalist or VC. That word, to me, I think most people in the States and you know in other countries kind of know what that is. Or
Guys, can you tell me what a venture capitalist is? I know Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek talked about it, but I don't remember. Is that a... God damn it. Let's ask ChatGPT really quick. ChatGPT, why am I gay? What? What is a venture capitalist? You are gay. What? I'm not gay. You are gay. I want mine to be the Nigerian reporter.
A venture capitalist, sir, is a person or oftentimes a firm who invests money into small companies that are not yet successful, but have the potential to become something quite large and lucrative. They provide this money not out of charity, but because they expect a hefty return once the company grows and either gets sold or goes public. They are not mere bankers, mind you. Venture capitalists take enormous risks because many of these young companies fail. However, when one succeeds...
Okay, so they're like investors for small companies that they think are going to blow up. Okay. God damn it, why is my speaker so fucking low when I use the ChatGPT thing? Like, if I watch YouTube, the speaker is fine. But if I use ChatGPT, it's so low. Like, I hate that I can't just, like, turn it up like I can in Windows or whatever, you know? Anyway, let's keep going.
at least they know what it means. But here
Hey,
it's
thanks,
like
Joshy.
unheard of, almost. So, yeah. So that said, they're ready. They want to do it. They're adapting quickly to the idea of having like this, you know, a vibrant tech startup culture. But it's still there's an adoption curve, just like anywhere else.
Personally, I think there's a openness and there's also
Sounds like
a
Jerome.
subtle
Yeah, I made him a black guy.
hesitance to entrepreneurship.
Black butler.
I think one, it's openly encouraged to take entrepreneurship, take on the challenge, digitize Japan, or use AI to solve the labor problems or anything like that, right?
Yeah,
or
we
even
need
playing with the
robots.
idea of bringing autonomous vehicles here. Now, what really hurts the entrepreneurs is when
Yeah, that's one thing. You know, I always thought Japan would be like super tech. You know, like if any country needed to get really heavy into like VR or like holograms or like drones or flying cars or Obama or you know like self-driving cars and shit. Like delivery package drones. Like you would think Japan would adopt all this stuff, but there's so much bureaucracy in Japan that like it moves so slow to adapt anything. And to quote that Nigerian reporter, "Why are you gay?" You know, there you go. Why are you gay? I can no longer log into ChatGPT. It keeps saying
reality hits.
Keeps saying you are gay.
when there are regulations, when there are hesitancies. Like, for example, our company tries to sponsor some visas, but
Yep.
because of our new nature of our company, we get a lot more questions around that, right? Given that there's a foreigner business management visa, the reality is quite a challenge. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's a challenge. So really being aware that these curveballs tend to come in because Japan is naturally focused on stable companies, stable businesses, and even the society. Whenever I, kind of say that I'm an entrepreneur, there's mixed feelings about it. Whenever you're trying to work at a startup, how stable is it? Oh, is it going to make money? Is it going to, how long? And really the nature of startup is risky and challenges involved. But essentially, these are some of the societal challenges that I think I personally deal with on a daily basis, where the perception of startup is risky.
For Japanese entrepreneurs here in Japan,
Are they interviewing these guys in Shibuya or like outside an airport? Like what are they doing? What are you doing?
started is easier, especially if your clients and customers are Japanese. That said, foreigners now have a lot of great support. I mean, we're in Shibuya, and there's the Shibuya startup support office that they have here, and they're helping facilitate a lot of the sort of troublesome areas. For example, like starting the company, making sure you've got the visa, getting you a bank account, which, oh my God, that's like one of the hardest things you can do here. Try and fill out an application for a bank account here in Japan. It's not like something you do online typically. You're filling out an actual piece of paper, and if you even screw up like one line on that piece of paper, they're going to ask you to redo the whole thing. And so, helping you through.
Yeah, it's Japan. It's bureaucracy. You can Google all of this. You could chat GPT all of this before you even come here, dude. Like, it's like before you go into, before I go to any country, I always Google scams in blah, 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 or whatever. So I know what to look out for, in case, like, do I need to put my wallet in my front pocket or my back pocket? Like, stuff like that, right? And so, same thing in Japan. It's like, yeah, opening up a bank account is a big pain in the ass here, but you can do it. It just, it just takes it's not hard. It's just different. That's the way I like to think of it as. That's the way I like to explain it. It's not harder. It's just different, But once you get past, just dealing with the difference, it makes it a whole lot easier, I keep wanting to bat this mic out of his face. Like, look out, he's gonna brush his face. He's gonna put shaving cream on.
Do that process. I mean, it's not like America where you're just just scratch it out and fudge it. No, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, dude.
On the first go.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is where I have to take a turn towards the negative because I would personally describe Japan as an.
Look at this man, his nicely manicured eyebrows. His whitened teeth, damn.
Anti-startup society, unfortunately. And I would say both from a legal side and from just a general business side. And I think it's no big secret, right? Japanese companies are traditionally seen as very conservative. And I think the whole system is just not set up to work with startup companies. And I don't think it necessarily has to do with me being a non-Japanese citizen, because I know a lot of Japanese founders, and I hear them saying the exact same thing, right? They're also, it's so hard to work with big companies. Nobody trusts us. No one gives us a chance. And the deeper you get into Japanese business, the more you realize how risk averse it is, how the whole system really is set up for big companies to avoid risk, keep their profits going no matter what. And I think it's tough for startups to find their niche in that very conservative society. So I think from many aspects, it's an unfortunately anti-startup society.
What are the biggest cultural and bureaucratic challenges you faced in the early stages of your business?
Yeah, there we go. Let's get started on that. I do. So when we started the company, I went to the Tokyo One-Stop Business Establishment Center. We went to all the places to get help. I get interviews, said, what's going to happen when I start my company? What's the visa going to be like? What are the requirements? And the message was super rosy. Come on,
Rosie?
We're here to help. Come in. Don't worry. We love entrepreneurs. We've got lots of support. The banks are going to be great. This is no problem. The visa, no, we got a lawyer right here, right? And I believed it all, right? And I said, okay, this is my dream. I'm going to start my company. And I would say, basically, as soon as the company was founded, starting the company was no problem. But as soon as that was all finished, the problems began. And it all comes back to the visas, right? And it's, if you really want to be someone who runs a company in Japan, right? And we're talking serious stuff here, right? Signing contracts for insurance, signing manufacturing contracts that I do, right?
This guy's really well spoken. Shit.
I mean, this is big stuff that we're talking.
Like this guy's serious business, dude. Like he knows that people judge you based on what you look like, and he's got gauged expectations. He's a good talker. Like you can tell this guy did his homework before he came here. But yeah, like when he was talking about he talked to the people that gave him rosy expectations, was that a company that he hired to set up his company here, or is he talking about like domestic stuff like at City Hall or whatever?
Talking about. And if you want to be someone who does that, you have to have what's called a business manager visa. And unfortunately, that system is just broken to the core. And they even...
What's wrong with it? Everybody here gets that business manager visa. It's like you can hire an immigration lawyer. They can get it for you. It's I mean, like he's making it sound like it's like harder than participating in American Gladiators or something, but I don't know. What is he talking about?
To make matters worse, starting in October 2022, the Immigration Bureau introduced a new policy for which governs all of these startup companies, saying that any startup run by a non-citizen must be profitable within 2 years.
Oh, shit. Wow. I know so many, not so many, but I can think of 2 people off the top of my head who, one was a chick who was fucking this guy, and the guy basically started a company just so she could have a visa. I think she ended up marrying him, so, but like for the first 2 years they were dating, he got her a business startup visa, and he let her like run a cafe or something, and like that job was just a bullshit fluff job, but I really doubt that place was making a profit. And then the other person I know who got a business visa, he hooked up with another guy who already had a business, and I think they combined their businesses, but I really doubt that shit was profitable in the first 2 years. So, wow, I guess they're doing that to try to stop people from coming over here in mass by just paying for a business visa. So only the people that really have money, that really have connections, can survive.
Or you're not eligible to even have this visa and run a company. And
well, it's easy, though. What you do, though, is then you just have a Japanese guy run the company for you in name, and then he hires you on a humanities visa working for the company. I mean, it's not rocket science. You don't need to be the CEO in name or whatever. You can hire... I mean, this is the reason why this kind of sucks. These guys come here, they make no fucking connections with friends except for their Japanese girlfriends or whatever. So they have no bros here. They don't have Papa Tetsus to quote-unquote be the president of the company that hires them to come over there. It's like, you just need a front man, you know? Like, have you guys never even watched a fucking like a mafia movie? Everybody's got the front man, you know? He's just the guy who looks good, and he's the guy on paper, but he doesn't run it, you know? Like, you guys ever watch, Sam Rothstein Casino? Never watched any of this shit? I mean, some of these guys are just like, they're like, I need to do it my way. I need to be the bitch, or the CEO bitch, the Mark Zuckerberg. Like, when you realize, like, it's not about the status, it's not about the thing, it's just getting the work done, you don't let the little thing like labels and shit get to you. But some people, they don't have connections, or they don't have friends that they can trust, so they're kind of fucked. They're stuck with that, no buenos. That's right, Josh. You tell him, Steve Dave. What?
It's like, what's going on here? I mean, what company, especially a pharmaceutical one, is it going to be even in the ballpark of profitable within 2 years? Because our company, Reiwa Pharmaceuticals, is run by a non-citizen, we are not allowed to run the company out of an apartment or a basement or a co-working space. We must have our own office.
Oh, you can't do it in a co-working space? A lot of people got around the starting a business with a business visa because they would rent out a cubicle in these office, because normally if you rent out an office space, you got to actually rent out a whole floor. And, Japan's a country full of loopholes. So the way that people would get around that is that they would find an office where it's like, well, you could rent out an office in our office, and then they would rent out the cubicle, but technically you still have the address there. I'm telling you guys all these secrets right now, and I'm not even charging you. You motherfuckers better be... I don't even know if you can apply this anymore, though, so, but it's old information possibly. But still, you better be fucking happy. Anyway, the point is, you would rent out a cubicle there and use the address there for your company, and immigration would allow that back in the day. But he's saying now you can't even run it out of an apartment. You have to rent your own official office space. Like, goddamn, dude. Yeah, it better be Damien.
Okay, maybe that's fine, but it's another barrier you're putting out there to stop startup founders, whereas most startups are started in a garage, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that there's a lot of sketchy people that are not white people in fancy suits like you who are going to take advantage of that are going to do something like that just to start up their company to do sketchy shit here, dude. You don't understand. Like, it's not because good people like you, quote unquote, are doing everything by the book and you're just trying to be good. It's that sketchy, shittier people have done sketchy, shitty shit. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, don't drink the paint. They have like a sign at like what's the one, Hard Depot or whatever, Home Depot, where it's like, don't drink the paint. Most people are not retarded, and they don't drink paint because they know it's bad for you. But there was one fucking retarded guy who drank the paint, and now they got to put a sign out there saying, don't drink the paint, so they're not liable for it, right? So it's the same thing in Japan. It's like people are running sketchy businesses, and so they had to make that rule probably. I mean, like, it just takes one person to ruin a party. Yeah, damn, be happy, yep.
And it's in Japan, you cannot start in a garage if you're a non-citizen. You must have a full office. And then how do you...
Yeah, because you're a guest here. If you're a citizen, they don't give a shit. But you got to be, when you're a foreigner, there's going to be more scrutiny. You're in a homogenous society, bro. Like, how is this... Like, it's like, why is not everything the same as in my home country? Racism.
Get the office before you start the company, before you have the visa. So it's kind of a catch-22, right? So this is another ridiculous barrier that's just being put up to...
Yeah, but once you know that, then you'll find ways around it, dude. It's the same fucking Mario level, but you're just playing it in reverse, Like, instead of from beginning to end, you're doing it from the ending to beginning. It's still the same shit. It's just different, And it's like, it sucks, but once you understand the system, it's easier to navigate around it, dude. But if you're just like, why is it not the same? Of course you're gonna be angry. Look at you. Look at him. Look at those eyebrows now. they're angry. Look at the eyes. They're looking straight. They're looking straight over. Look over here. He's looking at my hand. Look at the hand. Look at the hand. His cheeks are pouty. He's angry. He needs a nap. Joshy, come over here. You give this guy a pat on the back and you give him a nap right now. You come over here and you give that guy... Why is the timer going off? I don't remember summoning you. Okay, turn that off. Okay, there we go. Let's keep going.
To make it harder for startups.
Way I've actually came across thinking about this is that the Japanese structure is so good and so rigid that they just follow the process. Whereas in America, the process isn't there. So you have to do a lot of critical thinking in order to manage your way through processes that aren't working and problem solving. But because everything in Japan is so figured out, they don't need to. People don't need to think critically as much because it's already laid out. Whereas in America, there's loose rules.
I think you notice that in Japan, when something doesn't fit the mold, then they do struggle with coming up with a creative solution or improvising, essentially.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so I'm really curious to how that works with companies and marketing because...
Well, when you do that, though, dude, this is, again, you learn Japanese and you're able to schmooze people. When you don't know Japanese and you're just an English guy complaining about how it's not like the same thing in America, I'm just saying, dude, learn Japanese. It's so easier to schmooze them when you know their language.
In marketing, you have a process, but people will come to you with broad problems. And so for me, I white label a lot of my solutions. So I need to think critically about how to solve those problems individually or for a per company basis. And I'd be really curious to how to implement that process with the Japanese mindset. So I think the funniest example actually is I heard a story about how coffee was introduced into Japan. So coffee isn't really Japanese thing. So 20 years ago, the coffee companies started putting cartoon characters and candies to get the kids integrated with the idea of coffee so that in 20 years, now they can start promoting coffee. And I think that level of backtracking is so interesting, where in America you can just come with a new concept and an idea, but in Japan,
That's a good point.
if it's not fitting their culture, you kind of need to start from the ground up. And the ground up sometimes is making cartoon characters and candy to get coffee integrated into Japan. And now
I didn't know that story. That's actually a really good point. Yeah.
the largest Starbucks is in Tokyo, which is
Oh, is that the one that's in Meguro, the giant one? I thought that's only one floor. Is that like the whole building that you can explore? The national, the giant Starbucks,
really cool.
yeah.
There is so many. So for example, when I came here, I wanted to create a corporate bank account, and that took way more time than I expected. So we work with the Shibuya government, created something called the Shibuya Startup Support. And this is an organism that really helps us opening bank accounts and stuff like that. So basically they come with us, and if we didn't have these people supporting us, we wouldn't be able to open a bank account as a foreigner. So they just come with us and they explain our situation, and then the banks finally accept our requests.
Well, I think there's a rule in Japan where unless you've been in Japan for 6 months, you can't make an official bank account. I forgot why. It's probably like money laundering rule or something, but yeah, I don't know how that works as a foreigner. That's cool that Shibuya offers that support, though. Yeah, this guy looks like he would live in Shibuya. Look at that haircut. Look at that turtleneck. Guys, do not choke people in turtlenecks. You heard it here on my channel first. Not allowed to. Okay, make a love pill, make a knockoff of Viagra. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
But usually if you don't have anyone with you, I don't feel that it would be even possible. So opening a bank account was really took a long time, and also just talking to potential clients compared to the way it's done with the US or Europe. Everything takes a lot more time. Like for example, with a Japanese client, you need to build trust, so you need to spend a lot of time. I know another founder who spent 1.5 years with a potential client before finally having a contract. So these kind of things I think you never hear in France. So you really have to build rapport and build a strong relationship with your prospects, and then you can finally close a deal. So it can take even a year. So that was really surprising for me. I'm so used to just having deals done in 1 month or less. So
What's the biggest difference between hiring local Japanese talent and hiring foreigners?
So I think local Japanese people are still not used
to
working
so
in
young.
early stage startups because it seems way too risky for a lot of them. So many of them would prefer a more stable job in a more well-known company in Japan. And especially if there is a foreign founder, that would be too much of a risk for a lot of people. So one of the advice that we got as a foreign founder is we have to look for Japanese misfits, like people who have great skills but don't want to work for big corporations.
Yeah, that's smart.
So they're kind of categorized as misfits, and I was told that we should look more into these kind of people.
Where do you find these type of people?
Yeah, where do you find them? Like job sites?
I'm not
or
sure
what?
about that yet. Maybe there is a lot of networking events in English. So definitely, if Japanese people feel confident enough to network in English, that's really a type of event.
Yeah, that's actually a really good that's a really good point. If you're Japanese but your English isn't perfect, but all these startup companies, if you didn't graduate from a really nice school and your English isn't perfect, working for a foreign company will be kind of hard to pull off. But but that's a great compromise. You could work at a startup company, and startups, the whole thing is you still get paid a monthly salary, right? And as long as you're living a cheap enough life where you can afford to get fired or laid off, then for me, I remember I had a friend who worked for a company for 6 months without getting paid, like a retard, and his wife left him. His wife left him, and he just became all depressed. But if a company didn't pay me after a month, I just quit. That's it. I'm done. Fuck you. It's well, I can't pay for my family. Well, why did you choose to live in a place where you couldn't afford it if you lost your job? You fucking retard. But yeah, it's just he made a whole website too for his boss. His boss was a foreigner, and he made a whole company. His boss had screwed over a bunch of people. And it was Doctor something, and he's this guy owes me money.com or whatever, and Yeah, I mean, like it's a losing battle. You're never gonna get it. So it's just like, but I mean, that guy, he was a loser though. He's the kind of person that lets people walk over him. If somebody doesn't pay you, if your job doesn't pay you after a month, you just quit. You say like, yeah, I'm gonna go to labor court, and I'm gonna go to the union or whatever, the labor board, and I'll get my money back from you eventually. But right now, I'm gonna get some part-time jobs to hold me over until I find while I'm job searching, so I can pay my rent and not dip into my savings too much. And yeah, I'm gonna see you outside later, motherfucker. You know, I don't know about that, Joshy. Put down a gun. Joshy, it's a hair trigger. I didn't mean to do it. I was just trying to threaten him. Oh no. Oh, it's all over my car. What do you mean, Marvin? It's called a Royale with cheese. Okay, let's keep
where
going.
you can meet many interesting Japanese people to work
Hair
with.
trigger.
Can you tell us more about
It's a
your
hair
experience
trigger.
and this experience of working in a Japanese company and what that's like?
So working in a Japanese company, and it was a real traditional one.
Oh, he
I
worked
think
at a
it's not
Japanese
for everybody.
company.
Let me
Yeah.
say that because I was obsessed with just figuring out about what is the daily Japanese businessman thinking, right? You know, almost
worked at a
everyone in our
Japanese
company
company.
had been there long term, right? Like 20 plus years at least. All the managers were basically working for that company for their whole life. And the way that they built trust within their company was basically by seeing who was willing to stick around and
Yep.
be part of the company for the longest. That was such a weird concept for me because I hadn't, I never realized. I had always thought that in America it's always a meritocracy. Whoever's working the hardest, whoever's doing the best. But they had such a different approach to it. Who's going to be here the longest? Who can I count on? And I just thought of another interesting point, which was that so the normal workday was from 8:30 to 5:30 every day. And it was like right in the main office, everyone would kind of be quiet during the day. They wouldn't be working that hard. And as soon as 5:30 hit and the bell would ring, no one would leave right away, right? And maybe like the one of the managers would come in, and everyone, right when that started, you'd suddenly see everyone shift and like start making noise and start working hard and like putting this there and start working. And it was very performative. And I realized that okay, actually these Japanese people, like, even though they're good businessmen, actually what they're really so interested in their appearance in the office rather than how much work actually goes out.
Yeah.
And it really went deeper, and I started to realize the people that
It's
the
true.
managers liked the best were the people that gave the best appearance in the office rather than who was actually getting the results.
Yep.
And I started
Right
to
on the-
see that
right on the
same
money.
trend in other companies as well, and realized that, wow, like, it's in Japanese business culture, the appearance and your behavior is so key to success. And I think that's why you see Japanese people dressing up very well every day, caring so much about their appearance, going that extra mile to give an extra bow at the door, walking people to the station as part of the business experience. And there was something that really stuck with me. And people would stick around till at least 7 p.m. every day, sometimes even later, just to stay there and show the bosses that they were the most dedicated, right? Even if they didn't have anything to do. So yeah, it's kind of
It was kind of fun though. I remember working at a Japanese company in Ibisu, and like everybody went. Like it was a fairly new company though. It was pretty cool, So it wasn't like super traditional, but everybody left on time because like nobody was getting paid for overtime there, so they all left at time. But sometimes like you'd have like a meeting scheduled with another company, and we'd have to go down to the lobby and go to like the Starbucks or like some place that was in the lobby and like have a drink with people or whatever, and then we'd have to go back up to the office, and then the office would be empty. And I just remember like we had like a company fridge, and there was beer always in there, and it was just like beer for the fucking company. I'm like, oh shit, but you couldn't drink it during work hours. So like me and one of the other guys that was on my team, we would like, if we had one of those business meetings after we were in the lobby, we would go upstairs and we just we just hang out, take our ties off and just fucking drink and like just like put on some YouTube or something and just shoot the shit. And like there was nobody there, and then when somebody came in, they're like, oh, burning the midnight oil, huh? And I'm like, yes, you would say that. Like being a drunk crying. you go, you go, you go into like full crying drunk mode. Oh, Yoko hataraiteru na. Yeah, yoku sono yuku sono koto iru yo na. Why? Yeah. Well, my God, sono koto iru yo ne. It's like, yeah, you would say that. You would. Oh my God. Like, you drinking, you're not the fun drunk. You're like self-pitying, just crying drunk. Okay, don't drink the company beer if you're gonna be like that. Oh man, oh it's so stupid. Oh, you burning the midnight oil. Yeah, you would say that, asshole. What's up, Psychotech? Yeah, we're just doing a reaction video.
An interesting experience to
good.
learn what these people, what made them tick.
Yeah, I'll make you
So
tick.
in that kind of environment, how do you set yourself apart, or dare I say, do you try to conform, or do you assimilate? What do you do?
Oh, man,
He did bring up a good point, though. He's just like, yeah, like they reward appearance over actual results. That's certain companies. But the thing is, those companies are eventually going to die out because the only people that they're working with are other similar companies like that. And the only way that they're staying afloat is just because similar companies are propping them up despite not actually producing results. But this is just like the woke bullshit with video game companies in America. You know, Assassin's Creed, let's make a fake black guy who plays racist music saying ching chong during the final boss battle. What do you mean the company's going over? We have to sell it to China. What? Yeah, like, you know, the companies like that are going to die out and new companies that are not woke are going to come up. Same thing in Japan. These old companies, they're propped up just because the old monopoly people are doing the thing too. But eventually smaller companies that actually do produce results, like there's a great chance for you to get in and start changing it and, you know, polish that car, you know, Danielson, wax on, wax off
I was
shit.
in it to win it. Right?
In it to win
I
it.
had
This guy's badass. I like this guy.
I basically stayed
No
till
hats.
7 p.m. every day. Yeah, I just thought,
No
okay,
hats.
yeah, everyone's staying late. I'm here, right? Part of the team. You know, if I had like a volleyball game or something, I could leave at 5:30, and I did once in a while. But yeah, I would stay. I would stay
volleyball?
late every day just to like be part of the office.
Yeah, dude,
and
it's
be part
fun.
of the team.
Foreigners
Yeah, it's fun.
tend
You're
to
part of the
have
team.
a
It's
bit
good.
of more survivalist mindset, given a lot of
would
the
say that.
societal issues that they would go through here, like visa as a start, right? Or surviving with a language or anything like that. They tend to be open to kind of working very, very, very hard. Now, I think the Japanese counterpart, it really depends. I see hardworking Japanese coworkers. At the same time, I see also people who prioritize life, and that's a new trend. That's a trend now. So, given that as a startup, where is your priority? Do you need people that need to be just like super focused on growth, super focused on essentially working hard for a company in exchange for equity, or are you okay having people with a balance? I think those are some things that you have to identify early on, because if you work with people that don't really meet your priorities, it's gonna be really a drag to start a business here.
Yeah,
the labor laws
dude.
here, like it's so hard to get rid of people. So you'll see typically for employment contracts, there's like a 6-month probation period where they can get rid of you for any reason, and that is
6 months. I thought it was 3 months.
Make sure like you don't like mishire somebody and then like you're stuck with them for forever, because once that probation period is over, you are stuck with that. Like it's very, very, very hard to get rid of people, and so that kind of flies in the face of like being able to adapt and change very quickly.
Yeah, that does suck if you have limited capital and then like you get somebody. It's like that Come Town thing when Stav was like, "Yeah, I would show up to this job," and then they realized the person that they hired 3 months ago was never showing up, and that I lied to them. Like, you know, yeah, that must be a really shitty part about being a business owner. You know, having people that are really good at job interviews but really incompetent. But again, like if you have good communication, I think you can really help with that though. Like you won't run into those errors as much.
And that's part of the needs as a startup. Like, you know, as things happen and the company changes, some people aren't going to be able to, you know, keep up and catch up with what you're doing and how you're changing. And you need to have that ability to be able to change staff and especially if you're going through hard times, you need to start looking at, unfortunately, maybe doing layoffs, restructuring, and it's hard. It makes it much more difficult to be flexible and work on a global stage where you have these sort of like very rigid, strict protections for, the workers here. As a manager, I mean,
just don't hire women or woke people, and I don't think you'll find that problem thing. Is that a problem? You got a problem with that? I don't know.
I know from the other side, it's nice to feel secure, but at the same time, there needs to be a little bit more flexibility for businesses to operate.
And if you had a magic wand to change one thing or perhaps a few things to make it better, what would those be?
Yeah, two things, very simple, right? Please listen to this Japanese government, please, right? One is eliminate the policy that was enacted in October 2022 by the Immigration Bureau that requires all startup companies to be profitable within 2 years. Just eliminate it. Two would be make a policy requiring all banks to not be able to freeze anyone's bank accounts during the government-mandated visa renewal period. That's it. Just stop those two, and it would solve so many problems.
Wait, they froze his bank account? The only time... Oh, yeah, guys, I guess I should say, for any of you guys who plan on moving to Japan and living here, one thing the government will do is that if you didn't pay your... it's always funny when foreigners complain here about like, oh, I have to pay health insurance, oh, I have to pay pension. Like, if you don't pay your taxes in Japan, they freeze your bank account. You know, if you don't pay your land tax, you don't pay your job tax, they'll freeze it. And the good thing is they'll give it back to you, but it means that basically you have to do your taxes here. And so the same thing for like if you have like, because you get land tax here, and then like where you have to pay for being in the area, but also you get, your whatever you call it, your income tax too. So in Japan, they will freeze your bank account, unless you take care of that stuff. And I don't really have a problem with it because you have to do it. Like if everyone else here has to do it, why shouldn't I have to do it too? And so some people are like, I'm not going to pay for that health insurance because I never go to the hospital. I like to wear that pointed white hat and go around to burn crosses. Go back to your I don't know. Maybe those are those people. I don't know if that's them, but the point is, yeah, they will freeze your bank account over here. So you gotta make sure you you dot your I's and P's or whatever they call it. Well, I know I'm smashed, but I don't know about that first one. There you go, Restitute.
Problems of entrepreneurs, and then literally anyone could start a company in Japan.
More structural support for entrepreneurs, whether it's tax exemption or free healthcare and pension for startup employees for 1 or 2 years. That would be very helpful because these things cost a lot. Tax accounting or those lawyer fees, like those type of accessible assistance, and really encouraging the intermediaries as well to really support that as well, because for a startup, you're just getting by most of the time, and getting investment, even though there's a lot of investment schemes in here and there, like it's challenging if you are getting the first check. So I would say that, giving it some time to really find some support on those areas would be really something that I'd like to see.
All that stuff where he's needing to hire a lawyer or hire an accountant. If you're just starting a basic company, if you can't spend a day Googling what legally you need to do or learning some basic fucking accounting, like if an idiot like me, like I don't have my own company, but I'm saying like if like a regular Joe in Japan, like Nomadic Gaijin, for example, Nomadic Gaijin, Necronomicus, Necronomicus, he's a Twitch streamer. He started his own company here. If a guy that's pure like Luke, who's never really done any other job outside of teaching, can start his own company without a lawyer, without an accountant, you can do it too, dude. But you're one of those guys where it's like, well, I gotta pay to do this thing and waste the money. And I'm like, nah, dude, just spend a week like Googling and researching this. You can figure it out, dude.
Really flourish the entrepreneur scene here in Japan.
Stay curious. Butt sex. Oh, wow. We're over. Okay, wow. So, yeah, guys, that was the entrepreneur reaction video. What did you think about that? This was over an hour and 10 minutes for this. But, you know, I try to stay on point. I try to stay relative to the topic that we're discussing and give my own... I'm sorry. It's just the phlegm. It's like a rope and it's just stuck there and it's making fun of me. Yeah, I tried to stay on point with this, but the whole point is that if you guys wanted to come to Japan and you want to start up your do your own startup company, do what this guy did. He came here, he worked for a company, he got used to it, he learned Japanese. I'm guessing he learned Japanese. I don't know. Did he say that earlier? But you know, the whole point is that come here and learn about the culture, learn about the country, and get a feel for it before you decide to do something big like this, because it's going to make the transition so much easier, and there's no reason to make this so hard on yourself from the beginning. But anyway, yeah, guys, tell me, what were your thoughts on this? Did you like this? Do you want me to do more reactions to these business style type videos? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash the like button. If you made it this far, the secret comment is type in fuzzy little Mike, because he's just shoving it in the guy's face. Fuzzy little Mike. Make a little sentence like that. And yeah, don't forget to check out the playlist for these. It's the top comment always. And I'll see you guys on the next one. You stay black, and Oskara sama deshita. Yeah, buddy. Woo! Fucking throat full of phlegm. Help, Dad! Help!
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy. But you can't care about it if you're always holding yourself back in case it doesn't work out.
Yeah, why y'all put cheese on my cheeseburger?
I'm sorry, what?
Shut your bitch ass